Smackdown LowDown revealed some other drafts. Welcome to Wrestle Capsule. I'm your host, B. Today we're going to be talking about SmackDown and the WWE Draft. Well, the first half of it, because the rest of it's going to happen on Monday Night Raw. Raw starts off with Triple H doing the first round of this draft. SmackDown picked Roman Reigns, our tribal chief, and Solo Sikoa. No Usos. We'll get into that. Raw picked Cody Rhodes. We're going to get into that too. SmackDown picked Bianca Belair. So now Bianca Belair is going to have to switch out her belt with Rhea Ripley. So Bianca Belair is now going to be our SmackDown Women's Champion when this draft goes in full effect. And Rhea Ripley is going to be our Raw Women's Champion. And then Becky Lynch goes to Raw. So let's just get into this before I get into like what actually happened on the show. This is juicy. This is really juicy that Roman Reigns and Solo Sikoa are going to SmackDown. Not even on the SmackDown show was the Usos even mentioned in any of the 4 rounds to be drafted. So, I mean, we'll see what happens on Raw, but I'm telling you, this is the shade of all shades. The breaking down. Roman Reigns is pissed at the Usos. Like, I feel like he just wants to throw them out in the trash. He don't call them, he don't text them, he don't FaceTime them, he don't send a pigeon. Now that Roman Reigns is drafted onto SmackDown, he was the first draft. That means the undisputed WWE Universal Championship is going to be on SmackDown, right? Which means Cody Rhodes is going to be on Raw, as well as the new World Heavyweight Championship is going to be on Raw, right? This worries me. I'm really worried that WWE is going to give Cody Rhodes this World Heavyweight Championship belt. And I don't know about y'all. That's not what I want. I want Cody and Roman to duke it out one more time. And I want Cody Rhodes to build to getting eventually the undisputed WWE Universal Championship. So if they end up giving Cody this new belt, what was all that for? I hope they're not going to do that. Like I said before, there's some people in mind that I would prefer to get the new belt with being on Raw. Cody is not one of them. I hope they're not gonna do that, because that's just a cheap cop out. It's just like almost like a let's shut up the Cody Rhodes fans and give him the new belt. That is not what the World Heavyweight Championship should be used for. No, Cody needs to go after Roman, and I know it's gonna take some time. You separate these two, give it some time, build this storyline. Rhea Ripley and Bianca Belair are gonna come into contact eventually, because they're gonna have this whole thing, depending on what show it's gonna be, either Raw or SmackDown, where they're gonna have to literally be face to face and swap championships. So I wonder what the, conversation with that, the promos are gonna come from that. Eventually, I look forward to Bianca Belair and Rhea Ripley duking it out, which means someone, and I want them to duke it out for the championship, a championship. I don't want it like a clash of champions. I don't want none of that. I want someone to not have a belt and someone to have a belt, and them to duke it out to go get the other belt. Like, I want some of that junk, but I'm getting ahead of myself. And then, like I said before, Becky Lynch, she's just staying on Raw. Now let me take it back to the Usos. After round 1 of the draft, the Usos come out and they are, just talking up the tribal chief. Roman Reigns ain't been contacting them back. Like, they've been trying to get in contact, call him, message him. Like, Roman ain't trying to hear it. He ain't trying to be around him. But still, they want to dedicate their rematch against Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn for the Undisputed Tag Team Championships, the main event for SmackDown. They want to dedicate that match to the tribal chief. Now, already lost these championships. Now you want to dedicate your rematch to him? Y'all are very high on your own butt cracks, thinking that y'all gonna get these belts back. Then Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn comes out. Sami does his promo. I'm thinking, oh my gosh, is he gonna try to have, trying to really knock some sense into the Usos. No, Kevin Owens' face while Sami was talking because he was so over. Kevin is tired of Sami trying to be nice to the Usos, trying to, open their eyes to the truth of what the Roman Reigns is really doing behind the scenes. Like, I'm so glad he cut the shiznit. Kevin Owens got so tired of the Usos talking trash. I loved it. Like, the segment with the Usos, KO, and Sami was so good to get us excited for the main event. Like, these four always put on bangers. It not only set up what's going to happen with the bloodline, but it also set up a little bit of a foreshadowing of what was going to happen in the main event for the Undisputed Tag Team Championships. I was thoroughly surprised of the fact that LA Knight, after constantly losing, he has lost so many matches since he has removed himself from the Max and Male models. For him to get a W against Butch was monumental for LA Knight's career because LA Knight is so popular with the fans. The WWE universe is so behind him, me included. I enjoy LA Knight on the mic and in the ring. And even though I love Pete Dunne, LA Knight needed this W. Like, I've gotten so tired of him losing match after match with the whole thing with Bray Wyatt, that weird Mountain Dew glow-in-the-dark rave match that they had. It was nice to finally see him take up a W. And this match was very competitive. And of course, when you have the Bruiserweight, I'm still gonna call him the Bruiserweight, Pete Dunne, as your opponent, oh yeah, you're gonna get some craziness going on. You're gonna get some breaking of the fingers. You're gonna get some stumping on your arm, like while it's sitting, it's up on the mat. Like you're gonna get your limbs freaked up. I hope that moving forward, we can just throw. I know it's gonna take some time because the Brawling Brutes have become very popular, but I look forward to Pete Dunne, Butch, throwing away this whole Butch thing. Just throw it in the trash. Let's throw it in the trash just like freaking Nikki Cross threw that 24/7 championship in the trash. You heard me, okay? We need that to go. This match was so good. It was freaking dope. But there is a match that I loved even more, and we're gonna get into that. But let us get into round dos of this WWE draft. SmackDown drafted the Street Profits. Like I said, makes sense. Bianca Belair is switching out her belt and now she's going to be on SmackDown as a SmackDown Women's Champion. So it makes sense that Street Profits would go. Raw drafted Imperium. So you got Gunther, you got Ludwig Kaiser, and you have Giovanni Vinci on the Raw brand. Ooh, yes. Oh my goodness. Now we got the Intercontinental Championship on the Raw brand. So I'm assuming Austin Theory is going to go over to SmackDown with the United States Championship. And I'm about to throw some shade, but it's not intentional. But I gotta say what I gotta say. It makes sense for our Intercontinental Champion Gunther to go over to Raw because, as we see, Gunther has been one of the strongest and just awesomest, not making up words today, yes I am, Intercontinental Champion that we've had in a while. Like, his reign has been absolutely amazing. Sorry to say, but Gunther has been a lot more dominant than Austin Theory as the United States Champion. So it makes sense to have the stronger champion to be on, the flagship show, the A show. Like, Raw needs help. Let's just be real. Raw needs help. Raw has been bleeding, okay? Like, the blood. Raw has been ratchet trash. And I know Triple H wants to build up both brands. SmackDown hasn't. I'm telling you, for the longest time, I've always picked SmackDown over Raw. So to have Gunther go over to Raw with the Intercontinental Championship, they're just trying to build up Raw to make it look better, to be fresher. So, I mean, that makes sense. But yeah, like, they didn't do something with Austin Theory with that United States Championship because it's team booty. So SmackDown drafted Edge. That's going to be very intriguing. I'm looking forward to Edge being on the blue brand. And then Matt Riddle, he stays on Monday Night Raw. Now let me tell y'all about this triple threat tag team match. That match, I'm sorry, that was one of my favorite matches, if not my favorite match of the night. For those of you who have been with me for a while on this channel, you already know that I absolutely love tag team matches. They're one of my favorite matches. You got the Street Profits, you got LWO, and then you have Strowman and Ricochet. So these 6 men together, it was oh my gosh, I don't want to call it a banger of a match because I don't want to call everything a banger of the match. Really, not everything is a banger. But when I tell you this match was so freaking dope, everyone was able to showcase their talent. LWO was looking good. Street Profits was looking good. Even Braun and Ricochet were looking good because last time they had a botch. They had a moment in the ring where Braun was going to do the move again and Ricochet was like, and Braun was basically, I got you, man, I got you. And then they were able to execute it. It was great. It was great. But it was funny how they were able to make fun of that. And then they were able to turn around and make it right. High flyers in this match. So it was going to be action-packed, high flying, high energy. And of course, it would not be a match with Braun in it without Braun doing the you know what I call it. I call it the monster choo-choo train. Angelo Dawkins shined. Montez Ford always shines in his matches, whether he's by himself or with his road dog, Angelo Dawkins and Street Profits. So to see Angelo Dawkins in the match in general, like he's proven countless times, now more than ever, that he could stand on his own as a singles competitor. And I love that. When you have a tag team where both are very talented, both wrestlers are very talented and can stand on their own. Dynamic. The Street Profits were able to get the W against LWO and Braun Strowman and Ricochet. Let us talk about round 3 of this WWE draft. So, SmackDown picks Bobby Lashley, Raw picks Drew McIntyre, SmackDown picks the OC, and Raw picks The Miz. But let's go back to this Bobby Lashley. So Bobby Lashley's going to SmackDown, going from Raw to SmackDown. Roman Reigns is on SmackDown with the undisputed WWE Universal Championship. So does this mean that Bobby Lashley is gonna eventually get another opportunity to go after the Tribal Chief for the championships? I don't know. Would I mind? I would not mind. So I'm interested to see the angle what Bobby Lashley is going to do. And also, like I said earlier in this video, our Intercontinental Champion is going to Raw. That means Austin Theory is going to SmackDown with his United States Championship, which means Bobby Lashley got options. He can continue to chase after the United States Champion, or he can start chasing after bigger and better things with the undisputed WWE Universal Championship. Drew McIntyre on Raw. Another wrestler who I think would be a fabulous world heavyweight champion. I'm here for it. Next up, we have Zelina Vega versus Sonya Deville. On one side, I was expecting Sonya Deville to cheat with the help of Chelsea Green so that Sonya can get the W, but on the other side, we know that Zelina Vega has a huge match for the SmackDown Women's Championship against Rhea Ripley at Backlash on May 6th. So this W would be very important for Zelina Vega to get. Now, the match wasn't bad. Even though I'm not a huge fan of Sonya Deville, Sonya Deville was effing up Zelina Vega in that match. She was effing up that little woman. But Zelina was able to pick up the W in this match. Rhea Ripley came out. She's exuding her dominance. She's a SmackDown Women's Champion. Let me say this. Y'all can sleep on Zelina Vega all y'all want. And when Rhea Ripley tried to put Zelina Vega in a riptide, and Zelina Vega turned that bitch around and turned it into a crazy DDT, bruh, I went off. Rhea Ripley sold that beautifully. She made Zelina look so good, and Zelina did that DDT. It was beautiful. It was a beaut. Let's be real. I love Zelina Vega. I love Rhea Ripley. We know that Rhea Ripley is going to retain the SmackDown Women's Championship at Backlash, but this match, more than anything, should build up Zelina Vega. This should showcase Zelina's skills because she has them. So to see her do Rhea Ripley like that in the ring, y'all, let's go. This is one of Zelina Vega's biggest matches in WWE. This is gonna be crazy. This is gonna be amazing. Now, I did say that the OC has been drafted to SmackDown. With the OC coming out, they're exuding their dominance. Now they're gonna be on SmackDown when the draft takes in effect. And you also have the Viking Raiders. And what was funny was AJ was like, you know what? It's 4-on-3. Let's just even the odds right now. And AJ goes step away. The OC and the Viking Raiders just start going at it. I can't remember the last time I've seen Valhalla actually be in some sort of brawl match, whatever. She's the manager. So to see her going at it with Michin was crazy. And I cannot continue with this episode without saying it was so great to see AJ Styles in the ring again. He was able to do the freaking phenomenal forearm on Ivar to handle business because he freaking broke his ankle last year. I'm glad that the OC got their leader back and they're back on television. I hope that they build this stable even more because I feel like they've kind of gone to the wayside. And initially I was super excited that Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson came back because I always liked them as a tag team. The Good Brothers. Round 4 of the WWE Draft. SmackDown picks Damage Control. Raw picks Shinsuke Nakamura. SmackDown grabs NXT Women's Tag Team Champions Alba Fire and Isla Dawn. And Raw snags NXT Women's Champion Indy Hartwell. Damage Control going to SmackDown. They're still trying to keep Damage Control together in hopes to revitalize this stable. I'm wondering how this change is going to affect them, but knowing who else is going to be on SmackDown, Alba Fire and Isla Dawn, I'm intrigued. I feel like Damage Control needs to be pushed. I feel like they still have potential. As soon as they started getting better, they just started getting pushed further and further down and started losing more and more of their matches. I hope Alba Fire and Isla Dawn rattles the women's division like never before. But then you have Indy Hartwell going on Raw. She's going to be on there with Candice LeRae, and she's going to be on there with Johnny. Because, like I said, couples, they stick together. So Johnny Wrestling is going to be on there too. So is the Way going to be coming back? The only thing that we're missing here is Austin, because Austin Theory is going to be going over to SmackDown. So minus Austin, which makes sense because Austin is a full-on heel right now. He's a douchebag. So minus Austin, you're going to have Johnny Wrestling, Candice LeRae, Dexter Lumis, and Indy Hartwell. We're bringing back the Way here. Indy Hartwell just got this belt. And now she's gonna have to give it up. Round 4 was the most shocking to me because you got 3 NXT wrestlers being drafted to the main roster. Like they're leaving NXT. So I was floored. WWE Undisputed Tag Team Championship match between our current champions Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn versus the Usos. You know what? With the Usos dedicating this rematch for the championship to Tribal Chief Roman Reigns, and the Usos losing. It looks very bad on them. Even with Solo Sikoa trying to interfere, freaking Matt Riddle came out of nowhere and started. But even with all that going on, the Usos could not get the belts back. Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn are still our champions. So this is building up for the bloodline. The story is getting crazy. I can only imagine what is going to happen on Monday Night Raw. Are the Usos going to get drafted? Like, what is going to happen to them? Smackdown LowDown revealed some other drafts that were not mentioned on SmackDown. I'm just gonna go over this with y'all because there's some other people that have been drafted. So the Viking Raiders are going to Raw. So that whole little run-in with the OC was temporary, but now the Viking Raiders are going to Monday Night Raw. Like I said, Dexter Lumis Candice LeRae are also going to Raw. I mean, Johnny's already on Raw. Candice is already on Raw. Dexter's already on Raw. Like, they've been there. So this is not a surprising thing. Max and male models are going to be on Raw. Zoe Stark, NXT Zoe Stark has been moved up to the main roster and she's going to be on Raw. Interesting, considering Indy Hartwell is also on Raw. Whoop. We're gonna have some conflicts, some feuds here. Also, NXT's JD McDonough is going to be drafted to the main roster and going to Raw. But yeah, I feel like the whole Zoe Stark thing, like I'm surprised. Like, wrestling wise, her in the ring, amazing. I feel like on the mic she's gotten a little bit better, but I don't think that she was fully ready to be taken to the main roster. In my opinion, I also feel the same way about Indy Hartwell. Indy Hartwell, I'm not a huge fan. I like her persona, but in the ring, I'm not a believer. Maybe her being on the main roster is gonna push her. Maybe she needs to rub shoulders with some WWE superstars on Raw to kind of build her up, but I'm not. There's some of these people I'm just like, why? Now, JD McDonough, fully ready. Fully ready. I remember him when he was Jordan Deville in the UK, NXT UK. You got Apollo Crews coming back to the main roster. He's going to Monday Night Raw, y'all. Apollo, what sucks is that he was chasing after the NXT championship back when Braun Breaker was the champion. And I wanted him to get gold. I wanted Apollo Crews to get gold on NXT. So for him to not get it, it's sort of a disappointment for me. Raw, like I said before, Raw is struggling. They're just like, we need all the talent we can get to make this show, this 3-hour show, less nauseating and boring. So I'm glad to see Apollo Crews back on the main roster, even though I felt like he didn't even get to do what he set out to do when he came back to NXT. Natalya is going to be Monday Night Raw. Sonya Deville and Chelsea Green. They really are putting this as a tag team. Even on this sheet that I'm looking at right now, they have Sonya Deville and Chelsea Green. Like, they're a unit. They're together. And I'm just like, goodness gracious. You didn't even give Chelsea Green a chance to be by herself. You just put her with a main roster superstar. But I'm not gonna complain because Chelsea's getting TV time. I can't. I'm a calm down. Now, for SmackDown, we're getting Lacey Evans. Okay. I don't know what else to say to that. Are we gonna see Lacey Evans? They had to reinvent herself like 3 or 4 times. Like, what are we doing with Lacey? And then Hit Row is gonna stay on SmackDown. So this was very telling, this lowdown scoop on who else was drafted for the first half. So guys, let me know what you thought about Friday Night Smackdown. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more episodes. Thank you guys so much for watching. I know this video is slightly more lengthier than normal, but I had a lot to talk about, so I hope you guys enjoy the content. Thank you guys so much for watching. Signing off. Bye.